Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to another Patch Notes video. We got some stuff to go over today, and stay tuned to the end because we got some new snack reviews. So, I hope you guys are ready for that. We haven't done a snack review in a minute, but important news going on. We have our first absolute chaotic, crazy activist, supposedly, in California, trying to drive onto a Coast Guard base. That's kind of nuts. This happened, or this is posted an hour ago, so let's see what we got going on.
More chaos in California outside a Coast Guard base in Alameda as the driver of a U-Haul tried to ram through the entrance, driving in reverse. Coast Guard base in Alameda as the driver of a U-Haul tried to ram through the entrance, driving in reverse.
What the fuck?
The truck sped off, parking just a few blocks away. The driver was wounded in the stomach. His identity is still unknown, but one witness said the U-Haul was parked outside the base for much of the day. Now, this is the same spot where protesters were trying to block Border Patrol agents from getting onto the base. These so-called peaceful idiots allegedly left a security guard working for a news crew beaten and bloodied. In video obtained by the News Nation, he describes what happened.
Kept asking me where I was going and stepping in front of me.
And you didn't identify yourself as a Trump supporter or supporting ICE, or?
I support neither.
Would you like me to call 911?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Do you know who
Jesus.
did it? Is it on camera?
No, we were live.
News Nation also caught a man removing rocks from a rock station on the side of the street. So why would peaceful protesters need those?
I support ICE, ma'am, 100%. Some of us want. Some of us just wanted to be protesting. I fought for your guys' rights to be able to protest all you want.
Yeah, go
Let's
hold
just
hands
do it
with him.
peacefully. Having rocks here and having rock station gives you the potential to have violence, and I'm trying to do everything to eliminate.
Of course, none of this is stopping Democrats from fanning the flames.
Jesus.
Before Trump called off sending troops to the Bay Area, Nancy Pelosi demanded the arrest of federal agents in her district. In a statement, she writes, "Our state and local authorities may arrest federal agents if they break California law. And if they're
When are we going to arrest these people? They are facilitating violent acts now. Clearly, the person in the U-Haul had violence on the mind, attempting to possibly sneak in a bomb. Who knows? We won't really know until more details come out about this. And we have protesters chucking rocks at police officers, not even federal agents, but police officers, who are simply just trying to do their job based on whose orders they have to follow, right? These people, they're third parties, right? They're just trying to keep the peace, you know? So I don't blame them at all, right? Because at the end of the day, they're not making the decision. Now, the chief of that police department could easily get that call and say, fuck off, and just not act on it and just continue regular patrol routes and pretend like nothing ever happened, right? But most chiefs won't do that because that's like the end of their job, right? It'd be one thing if like if there was a a a larger pushback, I think, against these issues, then I do think you would see police chiefs saying, "Nope, we're not getting involved. My officers are staying out of it," and this and that and the other, right? So at some point, they are I mean, we have Nancy Pelosi, we have Gavin Newsom, who are fully in support of this, who have pushed for people to resist by any means necessary. And when are we going to hold them accountable? There's a dozen things that you could throw on them right now. Right now. You know, facilitating fugitives or not facilitating, but harboring fugitives. That's one of them, right? All of these illegals are technically fugitives, right? Because they're here illegally, they're on the run. That's about all you really need to call them a fugitive, right? They're a fugitive of the law. The law is currently looking for them. They are harboring these individuals in their state under laws that only pertain to that state, do not impact federal law at all. Federal law always stands above California law or any other state law. At what point is Trump gonna stop being a pussy and fucking throw these motherfuckers behind bars? I guarantee you, he makes an example out of Pelosi, out of fucking Newsom, out of anybody else who's in their little fucking ear trying to tell them that this shit's a good idea. Any mayors, right, of California? If he sends people in there, arrests all these people, California then votes for new elected officials, right? You'll just have somebody there to essentially tally votes, right? Because they will have to elect new officials if this happens. Will it happen? No, because fucking I don't know what the fuck Trump's deal is. He's willing to push the red button and blow up cartels with drugs, but he's not willing to classify these people as criminals and throw them in prison to make number 2 pencils. What the fuck? What is this?
They're convicted. The president cannot pardon them. Here with us is Bill Asaley, acting U.S. Attorney for
The president can pardon them. The president can pardon anyone he wants. Anyone he wants.
the Central District of California. Bill, we got our audio problems fixed here, but what kind of charges could we see against an individual here?
I can't unsee her earrings. You know what they make me think of? Peachy rings. I just think of peachy rings the whole time. She needs to stop wearing those. That's terrible. It's terrible.
Who conducts
Anyway, I
himself
digress.
in this way around these bases with a vehicle which is obviously a weapon.
Yeah, well, they're looking at some very serious charges.
They didn't fix the audio issues, by the way. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but I can. And she's echoing hard. Well, not hard, but she has like a soft echo to her like reverb, like there's some reverb going or something.
18 U.S.C. 111 is assault on federal agents, and if you use a deadly weapon to commit that, like a vehicle, you're looking at 20 years in federal prison. I charged that just this week, Laura. We had an illegal alien floor his car at our agents here, and they had to shoot him. So not only are you facing charges, but you might.
This is what I'm saying. Why are we not hitting these fuckers with the book? Why? You do that to like 50 of these people, all of this shit stops overnight. Because then they'll know that you're serious. Right now, they're just taking advantage of it because Trump is insanely soft on it. And I honestly think that, it's a setup. I think it is. I think he's waiting for enough incidents to happen that it garners public favor for him to push it even farther. So he can be defensive rather than offensive. Which is why I call him a fucking pussy. I mean, it's good tactics, right? It's good tactics if you want the media and everything to essentially have to be on your side because they can't fight it on the optics side because you let the optics work in your favor, right? So in a way, like it's genius, right? But it's such a fucking bitch move. It's such a bitch move. But at some level, I still respect it, right? He's playing the game, right? He's playing the game. Um, Me and him differ quite heavily in that. He's playing the game where you let a guy enter your space, you let him hit you first, and then you go full blown nuclear fucking war on that guy. And I'm playing the game where I don't let you enter my space at all, and I knock you the fuck out before you have a chance, all right? Soon as you cross that line, it's done. It's done for me. I'm fucking wang done. But I get it. I get it to a point. I get it, right?
Get shot and killed. This is very serious stuff. The agents will not hesitate to defend themselves, and if you survive, we will prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law.
Bill, it seems like at least right now, despite the threats of prosecution and some individuals actually being prosecuted in your office and others, there doesn't seem to be a lot of concern on the part of these, these violent activists. They seem energized and
Of course, because they're being protected. You gotta remove that protection. If you throw their protectors in prison, their Newsoms and their fucking Pelosi's, you throw them bitches in prison. And just like that, that shit stops overnight because their beacon of hope is gone. And maybe some of them will still fight, so you'll still, you'll have to like throw, I don't know, like, and not even 50. You'll probably have to throw like 15, 20, because these are all pussies, by the way. These fucking losers. Reddit fucking neckbeard fucking baldy fucking fat losers, right? And Karens.
inspired by the words of politicians and other agitators, whether it's calling people Nazis or Hitler or authoritarian or the end of democracy.
Shit.
There seems to be an impetus here, and it's not good.
Well, Laura, if you look at Los Angeles, things have quieted down a lot here. And I'll tell you, it's because we had the National Guard come out, number one. Everyone calmed down once they saw armed Marines. And number two, we've charged about 100 individuals, mostly the leaders of these activists, and we hold them and we detain them and we take them to trial. So there are real consequences here in LA. And I think you're going to start seeing that in other places in the country. So we have to start finding out who the leaders
That's
are,
crazy.
who the organizers are, who's funding them, and that's what the FBI and other agencies such as HSI are working on now. And now we're using our national security apparatus to dismantle them. But make no mistake, this is a small minority, but they're just very loud and very organized. We have to dismantle them.
Bill, how many prosecutions has your office undertaken, and how long does this take to go through the system?
We have filed approximately 100 cases for either assault or impeding federal agents here. It's a variety of misdemeanors and felonies. A lot of the lower level ones do get resolved. They do end up pleading guilty to the misdemeanors. Some have started going to trial, and that's a whole other issue, Laura, I can get into with the jury pool.
I don't know. I really think we need to crank up the severity. I honestly think that we should just remove misdemeanors. No. But I do think if you have 3 misdemeanors, that's it. You're done. You're done. Removed from society regardless. Oh, it wasn't a felony. Who cares? Who cares? There's 3 misdemeanors. You're done. 3 strikes. You're out. Done. That's what I think.
Here, some are getting acquitted.
Right.
No ifs,
Some
ands,
will be
buts.
convicted. But look, at the end of the day,
Because misdemeanors do have their place, and obviously there's a different severity, 2 different crimes. So, popping off like I just did and saying we should just get rid of misdemeanors. It would be nice. It would be nice if we could and treat everything as a felony, so then you would be even less wanting to break the law and especially get caught.
our job is to hold people accountable. We're going to arrest them, and we're going to put you onto trial, and we're going to try to make sure we have a fair trial. But that's what's happening here in California.
And Bill, any possibility in the future, you think, given what you're seeing on the ground there, of RICO charges against this network of people who are working to, thwart and impede law enforcement?
We've charged some conspiracies. We are looking at RICO, but really the FBI is just getting its hands around the Antifa. Up until the president and the Attorney General, Pam Bondi's been so aggressive on this, up until they've made Antifa a domestic organization, I have to tell you, Laura, they weren't taking them very seriously. They were just saying, you know what, these are just some vandalizers, some small assaults, we'll let the states handle them. The FBI did not take them seriously until this new administration. So we are now getting up to speed on those investigations and doing intelligence and applying other assets to figure out how they work and who they are.
And Bill, any update on that illegal alien truck driver who obviously we discovered was
I do want to know
shouldn't have
about
been
this.
on the roads and failed various CDL tests and so forth?
That is such a horrific case. Anyone who saw the video, what we know is that he's an illegal immigrant. He should have never had a commercial driver's license, and the FBI is looking into the circumstances of how he obtained that. And my office is going to look into see what the procedures were at the California DMV and whether they violated the Department of Transportation regulations in issuing that. So we have multiple investigations opened into this, but the district attorney right now is taking the lead on prosecuting.
That's crazy. Bunch of fucking shit that never should have happened. Fucking nuts. Yeah, that's our wrap up of the California fucking chaos. I can't believe this guy tried to fucking just... What the fuck was he thinking? Now we're on to the main topic of the day. Twitch has finally put out a statement in regards to the Emiru sexual assault situation. And I'm here to clown on it. No, not really. I am actually here to genuinely see what they wrote down here. And then we have a troll video. And then we also have Asmongold doing his take on this statement. So I'm going to give you my take, and then we'll see what he has to say. First, I want to be upfront and take accountability for the security incident that occurred during Emiru's meet and greet. It shouldn't have happened, and we take that very seriously. We failed both in allowing it to occur and in our response following. We mismanaged our communications about the incident, and that includes the comments I made. I apologize to Emiru for all that took place. This first part, this should have been released not even an hour after it happened. The fact that he was not immediately contacted, made aware, and then made an initial response made him look like the fucking devil. And a lot of people are treating him that way now. What are we doing moving forward? For meet and greets, we've begun a complete analysis of the incident that took place, as well as other issues that came to our attention after TwitchCon concluded. We are examining everything in how we do signups, to the layout, to increase security controls. This is not even a better late than never situation. Unfortunately, this has happened so many times, and it's actually just happened again recently, not at TwitchCon, but again recently on a Twitch stream, of which another person was SA'd. Forcibly SA'd by two individuals. Fucking what? Did they get anything? Did they make a comment on it? No. This is a legitimate problem, and they've ignored it. And now they can't anymore. So, here we are. We are also doing a comprehensive review of overall event safety and security, and will be making updates for future TwitchCons. Nobody's going to go to the shit anymore. Nobody. There is a chance that they can't exist again. Only in the context that Twitch gets gutted and it's replaced. Their entire staff is replaced with professionals. That's it. I think that's the only way that would happen, right? And it very well could still happen, right? Amazon and Jeff Bezos could say, I've had enough of this fucking bullshit. I keep getting bothered with this. I have more important shit going on. And just say, gut the whole fucking thing and replace them all. I would not put it past Bezos to say, I'm fucking tired of getting notifications about bullshit that's going on Twitch. I would be. If I was Bezos and I'm fucking just scrolling on X, I just happen to have like the 5 minutes out of my fucking day to do it. And I'm just like, oh, you know, fuck it. I'll get on X. I haven't gotten on X in a while. Twitch, sexual assault. Twitch, somebody got raped. Twitch, somebody got shot. Twitch, threats everywhere. People are gonna die. Explosions. Chaos. What the fuck? The fuck? Like, if that was me, and then I fucking check X, and that's all I have, is nothing but problems. I already said it before. Like, Dan Clancy, he's just a glorified fucking branch manager. There's nothing special about it, right? And if anything, I would say he's shown his incompetence for years. And he might be a good guy. Who knows? Bit of a gooner, but he might be a good guy. Who knows? I don't know him personally, obviously. But what the fuck? What the fuck are you doing? Ay. Moving on. While we won't be sharing all the security updates for privacy and safety reasons, we will keep our community informed about changes that directly impact attendees. I almost said attendees. We have heard concerns about IRL streaming at TwitchCon. Twitch has evolved over the years, and IRL streaming is a part of Twitch. But we need to ensure that TwitchCon meets the needs of a variety of participants. We will be reviewing how we handle IRL streaming at TwitchCon, and we'll have more to share. Obviously, you know, I don't really care about this either way. I'm not really like a IRL streamer enjoyer, so y'all have to fill me in the comments about like what this is all about. Finally, we got clear feedback on accessibility across the event. We are reviewing with both our teams. We are reviewing with our teams. I don't know why I kept wanting to put both in there, including our production and venue staff, so that we are better equipped for future events. Apparently, I did hear a little bit about this. It's like some fucking guy in a wheelchair or something. They didn't have a ramp or anything for him. Just like the stupidest shit ever. You put a lot of trust in us by attending TwitchCon, and we take our responsibility to keep you safe seriously. We know that TwitchCon means a lot to a lot of people, and it means a lot to us. Be on the lookout for more updates. Thank you for being a part of Twitch. Yeah, so this is fucked. This is so fucked. I don't know. It seems a whole lot of too little, too late. There's nothing about Twitch pursuing this guy on Emiru's behalf and trying to hit him with the full extent of the law. Emiru is doing that herself. So they didn't shed any support for that or anything like that. It's kind of ridiculous. So, you know, it's whatever. All right. I did say that we had a troll video. Oh yeah, we are back with Gucci Marks. He posted another video, and my God, Dan Clancy cannot catch a break. This some CEO type shit by Gucci Marks.
Buy like I'm fun. Yes, Danny in this bitch.
Danny in this bitch.
Platform, baby, come stream on Twitch. I like
Hey.
crazy. Yeah, Danny fucking rich. Girls don't be lazy. Put some energy in that clip. Go buy a
No way. No way. Mad pause. No way. How far in are we? 15 seconds in, and they're already going Gooner. They're already pulling up the Gooner shit. Yeah. Brother. Oh, man.
hot tub, strip down, shawty lose the fit, and Danny's
Hey.
60, but still want some off that drip. Don't wear the safety. Twitch con, young, wild and free. These baddies chase me, but don't bring security.
My God. No shot, dude.
You say Twitch greedy, 'cause
He really is the Gooner CEO, man. Son of a bitch.
it's a 50-50 split, and I don't care that. You get a 95 on kick, don't be so needy.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's a Gucci coming hit. If you're not happy, you can always leave it quick. 'Cause we got baddies. That's the most important bit. Come round and blow off. Yeah, right here it's live on Twitch. It's a soft core side. We got the girlies getting lit. Take all your clothes off. Get down and flash your titties.
Did that actually happen? What? I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, yeah.
These edits go fucking crazy, bro. With all of this editing, this just tells me that he had this waiting for this to happen. Because you don't do this level of editing overnight. That means he had this ready. And he was just waiting for the right time. And he couldn't have chose a better time. Oh my God.
TwitchCon was off the grid. I'ma watch some streams now. Chill out, cool off a bit. See you in the next one. Gucci Marks generated the shit.
Bro. Oh man, this shit is killing me, bro. I'm so here for it, man. This AI generated fucking CEO of Twitch song. CEO type shit, brother. Oh man, this is crazy. Bro. He's really going in, man. He's really going in, bro. Let's see what Asmongold has to say about this Twitch bullshit.
Twitch has come out and made a statement about
Jesus Christ, my ears.
the situation that happened at TwitchCon. Y'all ready for this? Let's read it. First, I want to be upfront and take accountability for the security incident that occurred during Emeru's meet and greet. It shouldn't have occurred, it shouldn't have happened, and we take that very seriously. We failed, both in allowing it to occur and in our response following. We mismanaged our communications about the incident, and that includes the comments I made. I apologize to Emeru for all that took place. Yep, you did. That's true. What are we doing going forward? For meet and greets, we've begun a complete analysis of the incident that took place, as well as other issues that have come to our attention after TwitchCon concluded. We're examining everything from how we do signups to the layout to increased security controls. We're also doing a comprehensive review of the event safety and security, and we'll be making updates to future TwitchCons. While we won't be sharing all those security updates for privacy and safety reasons, that's smart, actually. That's the first smart thing they've ever done. For privacy and safety reasons, we will keep our community informed about change.
The quick shot and then right back to reading, so good. That's the first smart thing they ever done. Anyway, so it's good. It's good. I like it. Good delivery.
Changes that directly impact attendees. We've heard your concerns about IRL streaming at TwitchCon. Oh, we read the co-tweet. Twitch has evolved over many years. IRL streaming has a part of Twitch, but we need to ensure that TwitchCon meets the needs of a variety of participants. We will be reviewing how we handle IRL streaming at TwitchCon, and we'll have more to share soon. Finally, we got clear feedback on accessibility across the event. We're reviewing that. Oh, there was a guy that was in a wheelchair, and he didn't have a ramp to go up to, like, some fucking tournament thing.
Yeah, this is my understanding as well. I don't know about the tournament thing part, but yeah, apparently there was like no ramp or anything for the guy to get to whatever event that he was supposed to be at. So I was like, oh, what the fuck? Like, it's one of those things where it's like, damn, you really just let that one slip through, huh?
Which was kind of embarrassing, right? And I mean,
Right.
it's not a big deal. You just carry the guy, right? I mean, who gives a fuck, right? Just lift the fucker up. But like, you know, in general, it's definitely something that he shouldn't have to think about, right? It's embarrassing to have to do that. And but that's it. And yeah, can't afford a ramp. I mean, that's it. Yeah, chairs are 500 kilograms. No, people can do that. It's too bad. You get two guys, and yeah, you just lift them up, carry his ass up there, bro. Like, yeah, he ain't got no legs. It doesn't mean he can't be up there and playing the game. And what's this? Finally, we got clear feedback on accessibility. We're reviewing with our teams. You've put a lot of trust in us by attending TwitchCon, and we take our responsibility to keep you safe very seriously. We know that TwitchCon means a lot to a lot of people, and it means a lot to us. Be on the lookout for more updates, and thanks for being part of Twitch. From Dan Clancy. Oh, God. No.
XQC thinks Dan Clancy is not thinking correctly about how Twitch could be viewed in front of Congress. See what we call scapegoat. If people don't know about Twitch and one clip they see is Hassan saying some wild shit, they will say this is what Twitch is.
This is right after the statement, too? Here we go. All right. Let's get it. Let's see it. What's he saying?
Not have this problem of radicalization on Twitch. It's a public forum. We don't have these private groups.
You can't say that. You can't say you don't have a radicalization problem when quite literally it is one of the most radical platforms out. Yeah, it's not as big as a fucking Twitter, or it's not as big as Facebook, right? But it is still a radical platform in its own right.
One way to think of it is, if you really view this from a honest and sincere perspective, these things are trying to get information. And to be honest, they probably don't know that much about Twitch. Right? They're not Twitch users. So I feel really good that we have in terms of them trying to understand this land.
All they need to do is play the clips.
Literally.
That's all they have to do.
And historically, Mark Zuckerberg knows this. They have no problem taking small snippets of information, even if it doesn't tell a full story, and they will absolutely fucking drill you home with it. Absolutely. Their whole point of bringing you up to Congress is to embarrass you publicly, shamefully, in front of everyone. Does it lead to laws being made? Yes and no. Sometimes they just want to make an example of somebody. And I do think that they are going to attempt to make an example out of everyone who goes to that conference. I will say the person who probably makes it out the best is the CEO of Steam, just because, like, yes, they're a platform with dialogue, but they're mainly just a gaming platform. Like they're simply there to allow you to buy games in a convenient manner, right? That's the main function, right? Twitch's main function is live streaming. Um it is a platform solely to advance agendas in views in one way or another, right? Right? Everybody on Twitch is putting their personal views of the world out in the public to be judged, criticized, or possibly celebrated, right? One way or another, that will always have an impact. And the more radical the view, the more radical an impact it brings, right? So Asmongold is a good example of this. He has radicalized a lot of people. Now, he may not condone this and he may not push this. And to my knowledge, he hasn't. But they will still act radical off of what he says, right? Because those people in themselves are simply radical. But that's where the line ends, right? Because then you have people who push radical point of views and they don't call out the fact that it's radical and they don't wish to push it in a certain direction or beyond a certain point. And that would be where your Hassans come in. I mean, the guy had a fucking terrorist propaganda on his stream. And he didn't acknowledge the fact that it is a radical point of view and he wants people to make their own decision. He pushed that shit like it was gospel. And then that is what the difference is, right? So when Asmongold says something like, oh, I want to take 2% of the population and throw them all in fucking prison, the bottom 2%. He acknowledges the fact that it is a radical point of view, but it is something he believes in, right? And that's really what I want people to really take it in. Take that in, right? The acknowledgement of a radical idea, but it is to ensure that you, as a viewer, you take it in for what it is and you decide whether it's something that you can get behind or if it's something that you're not really, you're on the fence about it, you don't really like it, whatever your point of view is. It's never something that is simply pushed. You're not fucking zonked out of chat because you said a disagreeable point of view, right? Because like fuck, man, imagine going to fucking Hassan's chat and saying Israel, Israel is the goats, like instantly get timed out or fucking banned by one of his mods or something. Fucking Jesus, dude.
So Clancy, you're seeing what we call a scapegoat. Okay. If people don't know about Twitch at all, right? And the one clip they
Honestly, if I was Dan and I fucked up that bad, I would 100% tank Hassan to the ground. Dead ass. I would look at the political views, the overall like political views of the country. And right now it's pretty obvious, especially after this No Kings protest shit. You realize that 98% of the country does not give a fuck. And they are wanting to push this agenda that the current administration is on. I would look at that and I would say, gotcha. And I would absolutely destroy any semblance of people who push Hassan's views. And I would put out a bunch of bullshit PR. It'd be like, yep, I've learned the error of our ways. We have unfortunately taken way too long to come to this conclusion. And I would just start banning people. Boy, it would be the fucking purge. That's what I would do. Dead ass. Dead ass. And it's scummy. It's scummy, but there's been a lot of scum thrown around on Twitch. Unfortunately. At some point, you got to bring yourself to the table and take some accountability for it. Or you'll fuck up so bad that Twitch in itself will cease to exist, or Amazon will save it by gutting everyone and restructuring.
See, is Hassan saying some wild shit? They will say, this is what Twitch is. And I know it sucks.
We would get banned instantly, LOL.
I know it sucks.
Yep.
To be
Isn't Hassan one of their most popular streamers? So, like, in a way, it is. Like, if the majority of Twitch viewers are viewing Asmongold, XQC, and Hassan, and they have a massive, massive pull on Twitch's overall audience, then in a way, he does represent what Twitch is. Now, I don't know what kind of numbers Hassan pulls, so, and I don't know what kind of numbers XQC pulls. The only thing that I saw about XQC like a while ago was like there was like a clip between him and Kai Cenat where they were talking about going like band for band or something like that. And then XQC's like, bro, you don't want to do that, bro. That's the only thing I've seen of XQC for a while. And, like, I only see XQC through like other people like Asmongold or somebody referencing him in one way or another.
to get the short end of the stick. Yo, even I was in that position when back
Oh,
in the
Meat
Better Call
Canyon.
Saul? Yeah, exactly. That's what I said
understand
before.
that. I'm not a civil company, right? But I understand that. So, when somebody big, some crazy shit, you say, no, we don't do this shit here.
Yeah,
Boom.
exactly. And they do let it happen, and that's why it's so bad. I think that you definitely have, I mean, there's like the gifts from...
Yeah, I think right now, like, I'll let him ramble on here after this, but I just got to get this out. I really do think that they're in like a better late than never situation. So like they can reverse the flow of things, but it is going to require a very scummy move in order to do so. Like they're gonna have to do some crazy shit to be like within the good faith of Congress. So then they're not going to get absolutely slammed when they get up there. And then all they have to do is acknowledge that, yeah, it took us a long time to come to this conclusion. We shouldn't have let it go on this long, but we did take care of the problem, right? That's essentially what Congress is trying to do. They want to bring you up. They want you to not have a solution to your problem or not have you acting on that solution to your problem. So then they can essentially just fucking berate you for however long you're there for because you've made no steps into correcting the wrong that you've allowed to go on, right? And you can just fucking let it ride for like half a year and then fucking bring him back on the platform and unban him. That could happen. And they would probably get away with it. But if they don't capitulate now, it's only going to get worse.
So I'll read the comments. We'll read the comments. We'll read what people are saying, okay? Because, like, to me, I'm kind of torn on this because it's like, okay, well, you did basically say you fucked up, which is what you should have said at the beginning. And, I don't know why they lied about it.
Oh, my God, I forgot about that.
There's other parts of this that I think are
Well, then all the fucking backstage shit that fucking Emiru put out in her fucking statement, where they were like literally backstage laughing at the incident. Oh, dude, we didn't see it. Like, what the fuck? Like, I thought you were supposed to hire professionals.
Like, I mean, the public does not know the whole story about this, right? I mean, I know people have criticized me a lot recently for like vague posting about stuff, and so like I don't really want to bait and do a lot of that, but I do want to say that, it definitely is worse behind the scenes than it is in front of the scenes.
That
It's
much
worse
could be
behind the
assumed.
curtain than in front. That's it. And let it boil. I mean, I can't say anything, but yeah, of course it is. Yeah. Worse for who? I mean, I guess like just like the way they treated the situation. Yeah, they treated the situation even worse than this. But there's parts of this that are not communicated. They're not public. But anyway, so they should apologize for covering this up. Yeah. Anyway, as I said, people were unhappy that I vague post a lot with this stuff. So I'm not gonna. I don't want to like start baiting and getting into it. Okay. So like I hear the feedback. I get it. My point is, let me just move on and look at a few more of these here. Time will tell if they've made any changes. Yeah, no doubt. And so they still haven't addressed the sexual assault stuff. Yeah. And so, like, this is what's crazy about it, is that there have been 3 instances of sexual assault that have happened. Like, there was the instant.
Known instances. And unfortunately, there are a good few unknown instances. Clips yet to be revealed. Oof.
With that Saeed guy, with that Nina girl and her friend, like her like weird thought retard friend that was twerking on him.
That's the one I was talking about earlier.
And then there was also the issue with NMP, LOL, and Wake Wilder last year. And so, like, I think really Twitch, I said it in, like, I made a pretty long post about this. And I said, basically, Twitch doesn't care about sexual assault. They care about the optics of sexual assault.
Right.
And I think I still believe that. Honestly, I still do, even about this. I think that if the optics weren't as bad, they would have never made this post. Like, in a way, like, I think this is not a bad post, but it's also not a good post either. Like, it's just like, this is a solid B.
This is like a hour or two after the incident happened. Pieces of this should have came out addressing the individual issues that were brought to their attention. But, I mean, I think somewhere in here they said something about their mismanagement of communications or something like that too. When there really just wasn't even a mismanagement of communication, there just wasn't any. Like, nobody gave a fuck, and it was so bad.
And so here, Twitch from response, yeah, that's the same Zoe that Soluminati spoke out against. Of course. I mean, and also, like, by the way, like, actually, I need to make that video. I really do. I need to make that video and talk about it before, it gets even farther away. So, yeah. Is Nina banned? I don't think so, no. It's a saving their ass post. Yeah. And why would the staff force VTubers to unmask? Like,
what? They forced VTubers to unmask?
I guess I should just... Why VTubers have to unmask in public places? Public locations. Why are there people on your site still? Sexual assault. Actually, like, I'm not really sure how I would type this. Let me think about this. There's the gift situation. Yeah. Why would you throw away VTuber gifts? You thought they were bombs? Better put them in the trash can.
Wait, what?
That'll save everybody. I mean, like, there's definitely that. I mean, throw them away. Yeah, why'd you throw away VTuber gifts? You thought they were bombs? Like, I mean, because it's just it's so stupid. It's so dumb. Like, I honestly, like, the more I think about it, the more it makes me mad. Why put a bomb in the trash? Yeah. Yeah. We're staff and instructed to throw things. I don't even, bro. I don't even.
I don't think I've ever seen Asmon this frazzled. Not even frazzled as in like I mean frazzled as in like upset. It's like, you know, I've been watching his content for a while, right? And it's pretty easy to read him to a degree on like what he's thinking. But I think this is probably the most that aside from, you know, his personal life stuff that he had going on for a while there. I think this is probably the most I've seen him. Well, because I guess in a way, like, this is also like kind of personal, right? Because he'd been putting up with this shit for fucking however long he's been on Twitch, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I think this is the most that I've seen him. Not even, I don't even want to say upset. I just want to, I don't know. I honestly think frazzled is the best word. Yeah, this whole situation is just, it's just weird. It's so weird. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it's literally like Dan Clancy, the CEO of incompetence. Like, what the fuck is going on this platform? And I don't even want to see Twitch go away. I think it would be cool to stream on Twitch at some point. If I were to ever like be able to do YouTube full time, then I can min max and fucking do a Twitch stream, cut it down, turn it into YouTube videos. And well, that's pretty much what I do now. Like, this right now is me recording several YouTube videos consecutively, one after the other, and then releasing them as cut down pieces in one big overall piece. Because I don't know, there's some people who like to throw me on. Shout out to you guys that have reacted to some of the old stuff. I had some people fucking. I did like a crazy long video that should have never went as long as it did. Talking about Bethesda for fucking 3 hours. That shit was crazy. But I was passionate about it, man. I'm a big Bethesda head, man. I like their games. And I was getting so like I just had so much shit to get off my chest.
Know if I want to type all this shit. Like, it's just it's so, there's so many of these questions. I don't think that I can do this in a concise way without like really thinking about it for like fucking 10 minutes to
That's what I'm saying. Dan Clancy, the CEO of incompetence. I think is the best way to put it.
Type it all out. But it's just so annoying that it happens. Just don't. Like, I'm just not even gonna do it, bro. Like,
it's not worth it.
It's just it's such a waste of fucking time. Like, you gotta word it better. Yeah, I've gotta think about it more and maybe word it better. But overall, like, let me just go ahead. I'm gonna give my response to this just in general, right? So Twitch totally fucked up with TwitchCon. I don't think you guys should do TwitchCon anymore. I'm going to be honest. I think TwitchCon is just a breeding ground for a bunch of weird fucking freaks to come and meet streamers. You know that there is radicalization on your platform. I mean, Dan knows that. If you don't know that, you're either lying or incompetent. In both cases, you shouldn't be, you should not, like, if you don't realize why there's radicalization on your platform and what that is, Like, you really, you're either a liar or you're incompetent. And either way, somebody like that should not have that job. So I think Dan has been very, like, I like Dan at the beginning. I still do like Dan as a person, but I think that as a CEO, he really just hasn't done his job in a good way. Like, you've had the viewers and the amount of people that are on the platform go down dramatically. You've had the content quality, I think, go down dramatically. You've deteriorated the product by over injecting it with ads. You've incentivized their own users to effectively make a Faustian pact with you in order to.
You know, the funny thing is, as a Twitch viewer myself, the only person that I consistently watched for a significant amount of time is Asmon. Do you know why? Because he didn't have ads on his stream. When Asmon went political, because I was never like a big like Twitch guy. Like I never got so into Twitch where I had to catch every stream and keep up on like what's here and now. So like I would tune in occasionally, right? Like there's a few like trash taste streams that I tuned into just to, be a part of the event, be a part of the community. I've watched some Queso streams if he played a game that, generally speaking he doesn't. He plays these really fucking random ass fucking low budget games, and I'm sorry, but I just cannot watch that shit. I can't. It's just so boring to me. Aside from that, I don't really watch anyone. I don't. Never really tuned in I mean, like I don't even know who I follow on Twitch. Genuinely don't. I have no idea. So, I don't know. But I got super heavy into Asmon because of the fact that I could just tune in. I didn't need to be subbed in. Even if I was subbed, like I didn't have to worry about ads at all. Like it was just content, right? It's just instant like fucking dopamine, right? So, yeah, I don't know. That was never really something that I really cared for.
Run 12 minutes of ads an hour in order to make money, and then it causes them to kill their stream and then alienate people and make them go watch on other platforms. You do TwitchCon and you force people that are doing events into doing a meet and greet also. That has to come as a package deal. This was something that was true. I don't know about Senna's situation, but I do know about Emmy's. It absolutely was true. And so why are you forcing a person to stay at a meet and greet whenever you realize that there's so many security problems that people have and so many issues that they have? On top of that, why is it that you took VTubers gifts? Like, I mean, there's like two levels to this. Number one, it means you didn't check the bags in order to make sure that they had issues or problems in them, something wrong.
This I didn't hear about at all. I didn't hear anything about the VTuber gifts thing. I'm very confused. And I did see that Iron Mouse put out a video about the VTuber stuff. Or I don't know if it was about the VTuber stuff, but it was like she was upset with TwitchCon. I don't know if it had to do with that or if it was the Emiru thing. I don't know.
With them at all, right? Because, like, basically, in order to give a VTuber a gift, you would have had to have been inside the venue, naturally, right? So that means that you allowed people to potentially bring bombs, weapons, knives, poison, or anything else inside of the venue without proper checking. And then on top of that, whenever you then disposed of those items, did you do it in a way that was actually safe in the accordance of the way that you're supposed to dispose of things that could be explosive, dangerous, poisonous, or in one way or another bad for you? I don't think that you did that either. So basically, you have people bringing in things that you think could be a bomb, and you're throwing it into the garbage can. You're just throwing it in the garbage. It's ridiculous. Put that bomb in the bomb pile. Like, I don't think that's a very good way to do things. So there's definitely that. They were not even disposed of properly. And then this is after the staff had taken the gifts from the people that had wanted to give them to the VTubers. they'd taken the gifts and they had thrown them away, telling the people that were giving the gifts that they would be given to the VTuber. If anything, the gifts should have been returned to the individuals and they should have been put in a certain place. And you should have said, describe your gift. We have them in a separate area. And if your description matches what one of the gifts is, we will return it back to you. That's what you should have done. You didn't do that because it would have taken more work and would have taken more time. Like, how do you figure this out? Because it takes 3 seconds. It takes 3 seconds to figure this out. And number two, a VTuber had air tags to dox the streamers. Maybe they were advised to just throw everything away because of the incident. If they had air tags in order to dox the streamers, they could have done a number of things to avoid that.
I didn't even think about that. I mean, that's true. I mean, you could sneak not even just air tags, but just tracking devices in general. You can sneak those in anything. You can get a fucking Build-A-Bear and sneak a tracker into that thing.
They could have done scanners in order to detect metal inside of the different items if they were worried about AirTags specifically, or other types of scanners that would detect technology, the same as TSA has. There's plenty of handheld technology that can do that. Then on top of that, you could have also told them ahead of time that we're not accepting these types of gifts because they could have AirTags in them. So this is common security, right? And yeah, true X-ray scan it. Yeah, and it's not their concern too. Yeah, and it is, but then you have that as well. Then you also have VTubers, like being a VTuber. Oh, I wonder why girls want to be VTubers. I don't know. Maybe you should ask Imaru. Like, it's very obvious why girls want to be VTubers.
True.
Some of them don't like, they're unconfident about their appearance. Other ones, it's because of privacy. Other ones, they don't want to do their makeup every day. I don't care what the reason is. But for all of them, one of the core concerns is absolutely privacy. So whenever you have people that are coming to your event in order to promote your event and to promote your company and to sell tickets for your event, they're not getting any sales of those tickets, right? You're paying them maybe like a few $1,000s. I mean, I'm not going to say what the numbers are, but probably a few $1,000s to do this at the most. And you want them to dox themselves in front of everybody that would recognize them immediately, because it's like, everybody there probably would know who you are more than anywhere else. So you're asking somebody to unmask themselves. Basically, you're endangering people by doing that. And this is a company, sorry, I've been monologuing for so long, it just turned off the audio. And it went to sleep. So you did this here, and two options is blanket no gifts policy, or be able to check the gifts correctly and dispose them correctly. Exactly, yes. And if I was Twitch, you know what my policy would be? No gifts. No gifts, because you need to have TSA clearance for this. You need to have all kinds of other things. Do you remember whenever
I was gonna say, anytime you do an event, and the only reason I know of this is because I help with these events for the tourism side of South Dakota where I live. We put on events for almost everything. Almost. And the I think the best way to say it is minimalist as possible when it comes to events. Always, always, always removing as many complications as possible is best case scenario. Every time. Every time it is. Especially if the event is really large and you need adequate security. You don't want your security guys tied up with anything unnecessary. You want them to be locked in and laser focused on the attendees and the staff. Right? You need them on point. So anything that you can do to minimize them having to factor in outside objects of any way, shape, or form, especially in a environment that, let's say you were to have who's let's say what's like a let's see what's like a really good example of this. Let's say you were to have here's a good one. Let's say you were to have Drake and Kendrick Lamar both performing at the same venue. You don't want anyone bringing in anything to that venue. These people have beef. There's controversy behind the door of one of them, for sure. The other one, unconfirmed, right? So that's a lot. That's a lot already for security staff to handle, right? So if you're putting on a venue like that, where you have a bunch of either radical ideals being thrown around or possible chances of violence that do have some probability, even if the probability is super low, or if you're dealing with a certain crowd of people, right? You got a certain type of people, which is like one of those like porn events, right? Like those adult video events, right? Those ones the same thing, right? Same thing. Your security has to be on point. I guarantee you they don't allow gifts at those events because the security guards have to be ready to snatch somebody who tries to grab up on one of the girls, right? You have to. You have to. So when it comes to event planning and there's any sort of controversy, radical ideas around it at all, you want that to be the most minimalist event as possible, right? Eliminate as many outside factors as possible to make that event run as smooth as possible and you be able to react faster than people could do harm. That's the way you always got to think. You got to think proactively, not reactively.
I said when I used to do PO box unboxings that I said that nothing that you will ever give me will ever enter my body for any reason, no matter what, with no restrictions. No exceptions at all. And that's always been my policy because I know what can happen. I know this because even a very small amount of something can be dangerous. And that's just it. It's just common sense. There's too many security breaches that are happening. No bags, provide water for free inside. Well, you could have a clear bag policy. You could do that also. You could have a search policy. You could have an x-ray thing that you have to walk through. But like that's all additional stuff. And then you also have as well.
Right. Which again ties in more staff, more security, right? Because you can't just have anybody running those scanners. You got to have like proper like security personnel there manned at that station in case you do catch somebody and they try to fucking grab and run. You gotta have that on point. And again, it ties up your security. It makes them have to do extra, worry extra about things that they shouldn't have to. So it's easier for everyone to just ban it outright and just tell everybody leave your shit at home. The only thing you're coming in with is a cell phone and your wallet and your car keys. That's it.
Then you have like these meta level issues that are existing on Twitch, like things like, for example, you have people that are promoting extremism, and actually, like you had multiple streamers on your platform that are partnered streamers on your platform right now at this very moment on this day while you're making the statement that have made statements that were alluding to or threatening or directly implying physical violence at your own company event. How is it that you as a company are not taking due diligence to remove people that are making active threats on your platform for getting in a fight at your event? It's a joke. It's honestly a joke. And even whenever EROB got banned for 30 days, I remember I said, like, listen, yeah, it's dumb that they did that, but they had to do that for liability reasons. How is it that EROB gets banned for 30 days because he's fucking around telling a viewer he's going to beat them up at TwitchCon, but at the same time, somebody doesn't get banned at all whenever they're a partner streamer telling another partner streamer, previously partner streamer, it's Destiny, telling them that they would kill them at TwitchCon or beat them up at TwitchCon? There's no moral North Star. There's no principle to any of this. It's just blind reactionary thinking and PR speak in order to protect a brand. This is a soulless. I think it's just.
I could agree with that. I don't know. It just kind of comes down to what I said before. It's like so little, and it's like insanely late. Like, you couldn't be more late if you fucking just didn't post anything. Like, fuck. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. If honestly, if I was Twitch, I just wouldn't even have put out a statement. Like, I think people were already starting to let it go because they were at least consistent about one thing, and that was not addressing the controversy at all. So if they would have stuck to that, I think they would have been better off. Because now you're just adding more wood to a fire that has been blazing for a minute. So you're just making it worse, right? Honestly. But yeah, I don't know. Twitch is at like a do or die scenario right now. Really, it really is.
It frustrates me so much. It does. It really frustrates me. And this is also at the same time that you never made a statement last year about Wake and Nick being sexually assaulted.
What did I say?
You never made that statement, and the reason you didn't make it is because it wasn't popular, and they were.
The one thing they were consistent about was not addressing shit.
Were men. That's the reason why you didn't make it. You don't give a fuck about sexual assault because if you did, you would have also banned that Nina chick for sexually holding down a guy while her friend twerks on him after the guy said himself, personally, I felt very uncomfortable for this. You have people that participated in and were accessories to sexual assault that are streaming on your platform right now that you've had no punishments for ever. You didn't do anything about it. And you haven't done anything about it. This is a video. I'm going to put out a whole video about this.
I am going to farm the fuck out of that video for sure.
It was fake. He didn't think it was fake. They only care about optics. Is that, sorry, it's an update. That's me, not you. Sorry about that. Nina apologized.
Bro. The Windows sound for him, the Windows update sound is like it's like the smoke alarm beep for black people. Every time I watch this guy's stream or I see one of these videos, his fucking Windows thing pops off. What the fuck is going on? Is that what it is? Is that what it is? Is the Windows update the smoke alarm beep for white people? Like, what the fuck, man? What is this?
No, this isn't the sexual assault isn't something you apologize for and you don't get banned for. No, you get banned for sexual assault. Like, this is not even a question. It's on camera. It's on camera. You get banned for sexual. What are we even doing here? What are we talking about? Yeah, I mean, really, like, I mean, and ask yourself the question. If me and another guy held a girl down while I held a girl down while another guy did something to her that was sexual, I wouldn't be banned. I'd be in jail.
True.
That's the truth. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. It's disgusting. And they'd have made a big statement about it.
So we're actually, I wasn't going to do this because we still have more to get to. And we're already at an hour 15 minutes. But I do think for context, because we're talking about it so much, Nina S a Twitch clip. Oops. Twitch clip. Okay, this is it right here. This is the clip that he's referencing. This right here.
Oh my God. Saeed. Come here. I got you. Saeed, come here.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
23.
No.
He's consensual.
No, he's not consensual.
Yes, he is.
He's not even saying nothing.
He likes it. Yeah, give.
Oh no. I don't think he wants to.
Yeah, stay right there. Stay right there. Stay right there. Stay right there. Hold on. Hold on. Sit down.
Yo.
Okay, sit down. Sit down.
You remind me of that one video. It's like a cartoon where the niggas start throwing out. It's like buy a car. Oh
Why
my
you in
god.
the way, bro? Let us go out. Like that ass, you are really a. Why you in the way?
No.
You trying to block the nigga?
Yeah, so clearly he's uncomfortable, right? And he did the good guy thing, you know, he fucking smiled through it, you know, he put up with it, right? And then the minute he got his opportunity, he's gone.
From getting ass, you
Bro,
weird.
he don't want it, bro.
He a cock He did not tell
See?
you
He
that.
don't want it, bro.
Take all of this off. Take it off. Hey, yo, cut the cameras. Cut the cameras. Yo, cut the cameras, bro. Zo, do your shit. Let me get my Louis Vuitton scarf. Hold on, bitch. No outside clothes on the bed. Hold on. What's going on? You can't just forcibly take it. Let me get that back. Let me get that back. It's a nice guy. Hold on.
Look at this.
Yo, how much this cost? Turn around. Start us with the side. Oh, I need this. I needed this. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, so that's what's going on. That's what he's referencing. That shit happened live. No punishments, no sort of dialogue from Twitch at all about it. Yeah, it doesn't look good at all.
And everything. She didn't apologize initially. She downplayed it and then tried to play victim to the guy. I know that. I know that. That's why we'll make the video and we'll talk about it. And I think that really, I think the leadership at Twitch is totally fucking retarded.
I didn't even see that second part, if I'm being honest. I didn't even see the second part, the part where they fucking hawked him down on the bed. I just saw the clip from before that when she was trying to twerk on him.
You guys don't know what you're doing. You have no idea what you're doing. And if there's anybody that thinks that that's not true, every single observable metric that quantitatively evaluates the performance of Twitch has been trending downward for over a year.
I'm telling you. Hey, somebody let Bezos know. If he wants somebody to come in and steer Twitch the right direction and fix everything, I will literally fix everything. Get in contact with me. Get in contact with me. Boot Clancy. Put me in his position. And guarantee Twitch will be successful 6 months. 6 months. Well, 8 months. I'll say 8 months because we'll have to go through a restructuring period. And then I'm going to go through a consultation period with the members who most impact Twitch as a whole. Of names I will not say. But it'll be like fucking Mardi Gras. It'll be like Mardi Gras, man. It'll be a celebration to behold when that 8-month deadline hits. Fucking mark my words. Mark my words. I could fix Twitch in 8 months, no problem. Full turnaround. Full turnaround. I mean, no more dipping numbers in any metric. All going up. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Y'all don't believe me, but I could 100% factory reset Twitch into a positive fucking into a positive both in revenue, views, the fucking anti-botting procedures, everything. Having an actual like fairly initiated fucking TOS, right? And I mean initiated because like it hasn't been initiated at all. At all. In any way. That is fair. But like I said, my one stipulation is that my dog goes with me everywhere. I mean everywhere. No off limits, nothing.
Every single way you are failing. Dan goes out and goes to influencer parties the day that Emmy gets assaulted at her meet and greet.
Which is
that
insane.
night, he's doing it.
Insane. Dan's one job that night would have been to get a statement out there, meet with Emiru personally, and then absolutely crucify the guy who did it. And everybody would have been cheering Dan's name. They'd have been cheering his name because they would have seen Twitch is taking responsibility. They have Emiru's back, and they're absolutely going to hit this guy with the book. And it looks like an overall W. Even if the nuances behind the scenes aren't great, from a public perspective, it would have easily went in their favor. It's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
It's fucking nuts.
I'm not implying he's doing anything weird. I would never imply that. But if you showed a normal person all of the things and all of the clips, it would look really bad. But this is what I think happened. This is my honest opinion of the reason why I think Twitch is in the situation that it's in now. I think Dan Clancy is your lazy, typical Austin liberal. How do I know that? Because it takes one to know one. I think that he has probably the same policy on making
not the liberals
a lot of decisions that I do, where it's I'm just going to let people make their own decisions and I'm going to be hands off and just kind of do my own thing and just, you know, kind of.
Which you could do if you were a Twitch streamer, not the Twitch CEO. CEO, you still have to deal with your fucking responsibilities. You can't just fucking throw that shit to the wind. You know, even a CEO like the CEO of fucking Steam, even he is not exempt from handling his responsibilities. And Steam, for the most part, has its own sort of it's not censorship. That's not the word I'm looking for. It's containment strategy, right? It's a free containment strategy. That's what I'm gonna coin it. The free containment strategy, right? It allows the platform to function as is, and the ones who are not garnering favor with an audience lose. But that's unique to Steam. Unique. They cultivated that. So you still had to put in the legwork to get to that point, and you still have to put in the legwork to manage it to stay at that point. And Twitch is an example of what goes wrong when you just don't.
You know, basically make decisions if they need me to, but otherwise let people run things themselves. But here's the reason why I think Dan's policy of doing that isn't working. It's because Dan didn't build the team that he is putting in charge of this. So when you build the team to do that, then you can have a more hands-off policy because you've handpicked these people in order to be in these positions and you know how they will think. But what happened is that I think Dan came in and there were already these people in these positions and he applied his leadership style to that, and all it did was exacerbate the existing problems.
Right.
Because now instead of being managed, they're allowed free reign to be even more extreme.
Yeah, and you can't do that. You can't do that on any level, on any platform. You just can't. You just can't. At some point, you got to stop trying to be people's fucking friend, and you have to be their boss. And a lot of people tell you that you can't do both, but you can. You really can. But there's a line. There's a line. And that's part of the position.
I think that's what happened. Like that's my genuine opinion of what happened. Like, I don't think that he's malicious. I just think that he's not leading the company in a way that's effective.
He's probably a halfway decent dude. I don't know him. He's probably a halfway decent dude. At least I'd like to assume. Right? Bit of a gooner, but who isn't in 2025? No kidding. Yeah, he's the textbook of incompetence in a CEO. Absolutely incompetent.
Like that's generally what I think it is. And I think actually with this situation, it is borderlining on malicious. He never applied any.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think negligence is the better word. I think negligence is the better word. I don't think it's malicious. I don't think it's coming from a malicious place at all. I really do think that he's just an incompetent individual, and unfortunately, his incompetence renders other people to be vulnerable to situations that they otherwise wouldn't have to deal with.
Leadership? Well, I'm talking about internally, privately. That's what it seems like. So yeah, explain it like this. Explains your leadership style, and his makes a lot of sense. Exactly. And like, well, Cody, like, this is the thing, right? It's like all of my mods and everything, and like my editors and everything. Like, these are all people that I picked, right? Or the people that like I picked. So like, there's a leadership that happens there that like, yeah, obviously like mistakes happen with everybody, but for the most part they don't, because there's like an aligned vision that was curated ahead of time.
Actually, now that he brings it up that way, somebody who does this really well is Dana White. Every single sponsor, every single fucking advertisement that you see along with the UFC are people that align with Dana White's vision and where he sees the UFC going. And he does not capitulate at all. At all. A good reference for this would be what the fuck is his name? The comedian. God damn it, I see his face, but I can't think of his fucking name. Brother, what? Son of a. Bro, I gotta figure this out. We're gonna figure this out right now. Popular comedians. No, none of these people. No. Theo Von, that's who it was. So Theo Von had a political guy, can't remember who it was, on his podcast. Peloton did not like the fact that he had that specific guest on his podcast. And obviously, Theo being friends with Dana, Theo confessed to him during one of their fucking podcast sessions that this was going on, and immediately Dana looks over at his, I don't know, I'm assuming assistant, and told them to immediately throw all the Pelotons out of the UFC gym. Immediately. Right then and there. That's a perfect example of structuring an entire company. Everybody who's in a leadership position, I guarantee you, was probably handpicked by Dana or somebody that Dana trusts to handpick them on his behalf, essentially. And that's how you have to do it, really. And you see the same thing right now. Actually, if you want to expand it even farther, look at Donald Trump's cabinet right now. Every single person there was picked by Trump or picked by somebody that Trump picked. Every single person, every director role, every important PR role, anything. Anything. And if you go back and you look at Trump's first term, how much did Trump get done in his first term? Fucking nothing. Because all the people that he had in there were people that had already been there. And their only goal was to push back against everything Trump wanted to do. But this time, everybody is on the same wavelength with Trump, and they want to do what he wants to do. Not to say that they don't disagree. J.D. Vance has already voiced the fact that he disagrees with certain things, right? Most recently, actually live, when Trump did his last meeting with Zelensky, I can't remember what the question was referring to, but Trump asked Vance directly if he agreed or if he liked the plan or something like that, and Vance was like, absolutely not. That shit was funny. And Trump's like, oh, well, fuck. That's a good moment. It's a good moment. But it shows that, there's still respect there to take the criticism. But at the end of the day, it's his decision. And he's going to either push it forward if he thinks it's a good idea, or he's going to not push it if he was talked down from his position. So that's what you need at the end of the day, and it's same thing if you look at like rappers, like look at Drake, for example. Like Drake got gaslit so bad. MGK, when he was in his beef with Eminem, got gaslit so bad. Like they thought that they were dropping super hot fire, but it was super hot doo-doo, right? And then frickin' Drake got destroyed by Kendrick, and MGK got destroyed by Eminem, right? So you got to have those people that are willing to tell you you're fucking wrong, but also willing to respect you enough to believe in the vision that you're trying to go for, right? There can be both.
Explain in WoW terms. Okay. You have
WoW
a raid leader
terms.
that doesn't make raid calls during a boss fight, but he didn't make the raid, and he just came in there to a completely different raiding team, and the raiding team that he had needed to have the boss abilities called out. I think that's like a perfect analogy. Like that's what it was. Damn, I understand now. Yeah. And it's
Listen,
just there's so much.
I don't know fucking WoW, okay? I had a life, okay? So I don't know WoW. So we're just gonna pew 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 pew.
Many other instances, like for example, like you have small streamers that are, like they have like 2 viewers, but they have like 150 people in their chat. Like, and this is the issue, is that there are so many of these problems that are happening on the platform that it's not any one thing. It's like dozens of things. Like,
Yeah, it's a cascade of things. So that's why you need somebody like me who comes in with a fresh perspective, who knows how to get shit done, who knows who to delegate to in order to get shit done. If it's something that I am not familiar with enough to just be able to go and do myself, which is a large part of like what would happen, right? I would go in there like the Russian judge and absolutely just start firing people. I would fire people. I would fucking get into their fucking psyche, and I would be like, okay, you know what? You're a good fit. You go here, you go there, right? And I would absolutely set that company on the right track. 100%. 100% without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, fuck, you could put a dog in charge, and it would. You could put Kaya in charge, and Kaya would do a better job than fucking Dan goddamn Clancy has been doing.
if I look at this right here, according to Stream Hatchet, Twitch's Q3 market share has dropped to 48%. So Twitch has now lost the majority of the market. They own the plurality of the market, but they do not have the majority of the market.
Oof. Lot of
That
competitors.
is massive.
Big oof.
Yep, there you go. And so malicious, maybe, maybe not. Well, I think it is. I think it is. That's my opinion. So yeah, have you seen the Russian VTuber doing hate speech on Ukrainians? No, I haven't seen that at all. I can't know everything. I can't speak Russian, so I don't know what they said. But anyway, so this is probably, as far as I know, the first time that Twitch has dropped under majority, ownership, right, of this, which is insane to me. It took something bad to happen to a creator and go viral online to address noticeable change for the cons and safety, besides just saying security was beefed up, which was not the case. Sad that it took this point, and thankfully it wasn't worse that it was. Yeah, I
True.
It was.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else really to say about this. Yeah, go give him a sub, give him a like. Yeah, I mean, we could talk about this till we're all fucking blue in the face. I mean, the point's gonna remain that without a large shift over at Twitch, either through new management from restructuring or just a straight up dirty fucking move where you actually start doing what you're supposed to do, and I don't know. I really don't. Um yeah, I don't know. Now, I want to make it clear that when I say I don't know from his perspective how he would fix it. Because obviously he doesn't think like me, right? I'm coming in outside looking in, fresh perspective. I can see what everybody's talking about, right? I see the concerns, see what everybody's bringing up, right? Because honestly, what I would do, just to throw it out there to the world, right? Let's say I got a call, said we're putting you on a flight in 2 days. You're the new CEO of Twitch, right? Day one, I get there. I'm performance reviewing everyone personally. Personally. I'm seeing exactly what everybody does. I'm seeing how they do it, why they do it, when they do it. Right? Every single department. And I'm going to optimize the fucking shit out of it. If there's anybody who is under 75% performance, you're fucking gone. And as far as like a 75% performance, what does that mean? That means you are effectively and efficiently doing your job, whether it's going after the bots, looking for new strategies and ways to implement a filter system in order to differentiate between a casual viewer, somebody who's not exactly active, versus a bot who is clearly fake, and how to recognize these patterns and this and that and the other thing, right? And getting into all the nuance of that. If you can't compare to me with my knowledge of how to implement these systems and how to come up with these new systems in order to mitigate this problem, and I don't see you effectively working at a solution, you're gone. You're gone. No ifs, ands, buts. You're not even worth getting my fucking coffee in the morning. Get the fuck out. Right? The big one is going to be the TOS department, the department of which people get banned and unbanned. I would optimize the fucking hell out of that shit. Right? I would have people getting banned seconds after violating TOS. Seconds. I would have people under so much insane surveillance that they wouldn't even have a chance to survive after violating the TOS. And for once, it would be unanimous that every decision would be fairly made and fairly judged. Controversial decisions, I would judge personally. Personally. And that way, the blowback goes directly to me because I made the final choice. If it's a very controversial thing and there is an argument for both sides and there isn't a good scenario where it's an overall community W, then I will review it myself personally. I will look at all the context, whether it's a fucking 24-hour fucking or a 48-hour subathon or it's a fucking 2-hour fucking casual stream. I would review any context provided and I'd make that judgment myself. Like the Supreme Court of Twitch, right? Like the decision got brought up to the Supreme Court, aka the CEO, right? I would take that level of responsibility, no problem. However, I would make sure that things are preemptively done to eliminate as many bad actors, as many people who have gotten away with it for a long time, right? And I wouldn't go back too far, right? Everybody would have their one chance in the light, right? And if you got on that metaphorical stage with that spotlight and you just said some vile, stupid shit, goodbye. Welcome to the new fair Twitch policy where you actually get banned for what you're saying. Now, there is an argument to be made about how much you let something slide, right? But I still think the parameters are clear. They're very clear, right? Clearly, no essay on the platform. That's insane. No pushing of a terrorist ideology. And this is all going to be in accordance to the government. So if the government says that talking about fucking Sweden is now considered terrorist ideology, right? Well, guess you can't talk about Sweden no more. It'll be according to those who could strip all of us of our fucking jobs tomorrow. So we'd have to definitely go over the TOS again. We would go over the details especially because I think that's where a lot of this shit gets lost in the sauce because they put a bunch of vague fucking retarded fucking details in there that aren't even really details. They're just Twitch covering its own ass. But I would make the rules very clear and I would enforce them very clearly and very effectively and very quickly. Right? It would be one of those things where you get banned first and we'll review your situation later. It is better to do it that way when there's a realistic reason to enforce it than it is to unpreemptively. I would even be willing, after pushing Twitch back into the positive with advertising, which that whole system would get restructured. I would restructure the advertising system. We would completely redo that and we would optimize it to be both creator friendly and make money for Twitch. Especially make money for Twitch. And these ads, they wouldn't be as intrusive onto the content, right? Because at the end of the day, nobody wants to deal with that shit. That's why we all went away with cable, right? That's why we went to the fucking streaming platforms, which are now almost as bad because you're paying an extra $5 to avoid ads, which I think is ridiculous. But, I think that's just market bloat, to be honest. All these fucking companies, they took on so much IP and bullshit that they now have to cover their ass, and they're taking on all these extra employees and these extra costs in order to operate. And most likely, they're all probably operating inefficiently, but that's the key, right? I would do a lot more partner programs linked with Amazon in order to help promote Twitch streamers get their names out there even more, right? And I would create a much more new streamer friendly ecosystem, right? I want people's names out there. I want people to learn about new people rather than constantly just seeing who's at the top of the list, right? Not fair to anybody, when you don't get pushed, right? Which is one thing I like about YouTube. I like it. YouTube does really good about fucking pushing people that you've never seen before. I run into new people all the time on YouTube. And I'm just like, oh, I'll try this out. Like a good example is this girl. Oh, what the fuck is it's Amala, isn't it? Yeah. So this girl, this is a new one for me, right? I've never seen her content before up until let's go to her videos. What was the first one that I reacted to? I think the first one I reacted to right here. Netflix's Insane Kids. Wait, no, that's not it. This one, here it is. If you're considering leaving the left. That was my first video I reacted to her content with. And I would have never seen that except for YouTube pushing her in the algorithm. Now, obviously, she does pretty good on these views. Like sometimes she has like a dip, right? 80,000 views on that one. But for the most part, she does pretty fucking well. I mean, 1.1 million, fucking 500,000 here, fucking 200K, and another 85, 150, 280, fucking, oh my God, 864. Like, damn. So yeah, I do think it's a good system that they have in play, right? But I don't know. You guys let me know what you guys think in the comments about it. But yeah, it honestly would take a full restructure. But we're gonna continue this, and we're gonna move on to now the second to the last event of the night, which is Halo Campaign Evolved Round Table Reveal. Oh yeah, Halo is back. Oh shit. That shit looks clean. Ooh. That looks good. I ain't even gonna lie. That does look good.
Halo Campaign Evolved is the next project coming out of Halo Studios. It is the ultimate Halo CE campaign remake. It is coming to Xbox, PC, and for the first time, PlayStation. It'll be arriving next year. To talk more about it, we've got Dan, Max, and Greg from the development team. Guys, let's get into this.
Halo no longer exclusive. That's gnarly.
Why is this the right game for right now?
We did this work on Halo Anniversary. I felt like there were certain things that were left unsaid. There were certain things that we weren't able to achieve at that time. There were certain things we weren't able to do.
It's a great time to revisit Combat Evolved for new players, for established Halo players, and maybe even for old friends playing on different hardware today, to allow them to play together and enjoy the franchise together again.
Going back to the Halo ring again for the first time.
For the first time is really important, and for them to be surprised by new content and feel like excited again.
I do think that is a route that they could go to kind of fix things. Because there's a lot of reputation building that they have to do. So I think obviously they have to come out with a new one. Like you can't just keep fucking hitting the nostalgia button over and over again and expect better results, right? Eventually people are going to get sick of that shit, right? We saw this with Skyrim. Like every time they re-release Skyrim with a different edition, it just got worse and worse and worse on sales because people were just so tired of it. And it was even such a fucking running joke that they did like a Key and Peele skit type of cameo at I think it was E3, where it's like Skyrim on your smart fridge and Skyrim Alexa. It's fucking so stupid. Oh my god. And then from the same exact studio, you have an example of a good nostalgia release, and that was the Oblivion remake. Perfect nostalgia release. Oh, when they did that initial trailer, that shit was fucking insane. When they go from like the original art to the fucking insanely high 4K fidelity, fucking insanely detailed graphics, that was such a baller fucking move. And then they drop the intro, say nothing, and just say, guess what? It's back. And like, that was insane. What a delivery. Halo needs that. That's what they need. Like, this is a good start in the right direction. But instead of doing it with a remastered or remake of a game that exists within the Halo franchise already, they need to do it with a new one. Give them that nostalgia feel, but a completely new addition to the series. And they can go back to, like, older versions that involve the Spartans in general, rather than focusing solely on Master Chief. I think that's the way to do it. I honestly do. Obviously, there are easily instances where you can have Master Chief in the game just to fucking, give everybody that cameo moment, like that. What's the best way to? Like Marvel. Like Marvel, you just have him in there. He just does his thing for like a good 30 seconds, and then you're like, yeah, that's the Master Chief. And then he's just gone. Like that'd be the way to do it, for sure.
And about exploring the ring world.
For new players, this is the right time for you to jump in. Think of this as your introduction into this huge franchise we've been building for the past 25 years.
I'm curious how you're going to focus on capturing the essence of the original, knowing that you need to evolve to kind of move the experience forward.
Yeah, from design, we don't take that lightly at all. Whenever we make a change, the number one thing was to be true to the original game.
For every one of those topics that comes up, there's someone who is incredibly passionate on the other side saying we can, like, that is sacred. We do not move that crate.
It's really about looking across, what we've learned over the years, what technology we've built, and how we can tie that back into this experience.
So in this game, up to 4 people can play the campaign together, regardless of which.
I did see a headline on X about the 4-player campaign. Bro, me and the boys are disappearing when this shit comes out. We're all just going to take time off work and we're all just going to disappear. Nope. Don't call me. Don't text me. Don't email me. Don't send me a pigeon. Nothing. I don't want to hear from you. I'm going to be playing Halo. Like the good old days.
Platform they're on, and then we're kicking it old school. We can play 2-player co-op on consoles, on the couch together, just like we did back in the original. What do you have to do differently to account now for 4 people running around?
For different co-op counts, we will make some of the spaces larger. We also want to make sure we're authentic to the encounters themselves. So it's a balancing act between that difficulty tuning and making those encounters the right size for the right space.
I understand that we've done some special tune-up works to the beloved Warthog.
We have.
Hell yeah.
There's a new seat, what I like to call the golf cart seat or the bumper seat. This is on the back of the Warthog, so now you can bring everyone with.
Mind if I join you?
Bro.
Let's talk a little bit about one of my favorite aspects of the Halo franchise. What is a skull? What's cool about it? What does it do?
A skull is a gameplay modifier, generally mean-spirited. It makes the game more challenging for the player.
The combination, the pairing of these different skulls and how that's going to create that new gameplay experience. Huge amount of replay options for folks.
I love the replayability that skulls bring to a campaign. It is almost endless variety.
We have dozens of skulls this time.
The most that we've ever had in a Halo game.
Are you a lasso guy? I think you yourself told me that you don't think anyone would ever be able to complete this game with legendary all skulls on.
I don't think so. I mean, there's a lot. And so if you can do a true...
Never underestimate gamers. Where there's a will, there's a way. And you know how I know that? Because Kai Cenat beat Elden Ring. Let that sink in. Notoriously non-gamer. Beat one of the hardest games that exists out there. And that's not even a hard game compared to the other harder games of the same Souls-like type of games. But somebody like Kai Cenat became absolutely drawn in and obsessed with that game. And my God, the death count was insane, but he did it.
Legendary all skulls on run. Let us know, because I'd love to see it. I think, I mean, that'd be really hard.
If there's one thing that this community has shown us is do not underestimate them, and they will find a way. So Halo's always been known for its sandbox.
Preach.
How has this evolved?
We made sure that anything we included isn't going to drastically change the way the game plays, to change the sandbox in a drastic way, but there's some really fun kind of additions, and that's across, enemies, weapons, vehicles, things that in the original CE you weren't able to do before that you now can. You finally killed the elite with the sword. That weapon.
I think the Oblivion remake did this very well, is they essentially just gave you a polished version of the game. Like, it just felt like the same exact Oblivion, but it just like you brought it to modern times and then you gave it back to me. Like, I gave it to you, you updated it, and you gave it back, right? That's exactly how it felt. And that's exactly what everyone wanted. And I think as long as they are delivering here, like, obviously, they're pushing the limits on this a little bit. They're trying to give you that exact experience that you wanted, but at the same time, make it more accessible for everyone, which I think is a W, so long as they execute it to absolute perfection. I think people will be back in on Halo if they deliver on this game as promised. I do.
Hits the floor and you can pick that up and just, kind of really take it to the...
It's a start in the right direction.
The sound design.
The
All these weapons, by the way, have
sword.
been painstakingly remodeled, rebuilt, higher fidelity. How do all these things kind of come to life?
That comes across through the way they look, the way they sound, the effects, the actual panels on the weapons themselves, the ammo counters.
With Unreal, the fully dynamic lighting within Lumen allows us to get those effects, right? That rich plasma lighting up and brightening the environments.
Of course, one of the hallmark elements of Halo CE is what becomes kind of a three-way battle with the introduction of the Flood.
There was quite a bit of development between Halo CE and 3 to kind of how the Flood behaved and just how they interacted with the player. So we've pulled a lot of those Flood behaviors into this game.
It makes me think of the Infested in Warframe. Immediately, that's the first thing that comes to mind.
And I would say this is a learning specifically from CE to Anniversary, which is just kind of that mood, the atmosphere, the tension, the horror, and really delivering on that from the way that we stage the encounters and the setup and how we reveal the Flood.
In Halo Legacy, there were some pure form units. We've pulled in a familiar friend, familiar fiend, if you will, to challenge the player.
Talk to me just a little bit about how we're approaching the narrative aspects to bring it up to the same level as the rest of this game.
We want to tell an authentic story and we want to level up the cinematics from the source.
True.
As we were building this out, we didn't just kind of put a new coat of paint over the original cinematics, right? We ended up revisiting exactly how they were blocked out, how they were sequenced, how they were put together, and we've done that across the board.
We have access to original source assets, original source code, and access to the original storyboards. We are remastering, remixing the music to go along with these cinematics.
We also had the core principal cast come in and re-record all the lines.
How much firepower would you need to crack one of the engine shields?
This really provides a degree of fidelity that we weren't able to do for Halo Anniversary.
Now would be a very good time to leave.
I'm super excited that this game will include 3 brand new bonus missions. Tell me a little bit about that.
It was really important that we preserve the original story as it is. So these missions specifically are meant to be a prequel, a setup for, the main course. These new missions are going to offer some new opportunities for character interactions, maybe between, Chief and Johnson.
We've got some new mechanics, maybe some new AI behaviors, things that haven't been done before in Halo CE.
I think we're just getting started.
So where are we right now at this stage in development? What can you share with us?
In the past few weeks, we've been able to start engaging and sending builds out to some of our community members.
We can now see so many of the elements of the level really coming together.
There's a point in every game's life cycle where it kind of just comes online.
Seeing really high fidelity versions of the cinematics, elements of the sandbox and encounter tweaks and the lighting.
You can go to someone's desk and give feedback.
Yeah. So, like, for people who this kind of goes over their head a little bit, there's a certain point before, because, the way that I like to describe it is there's a certain point where a project becomes a plan. And some people think it's vice versa, but the reason why I think the project becomes plan is because plans are usually concrete. They have a structure to them. They have a certain push towards a goal that you have ironed out to act upon. Whereas projects are typically more ideas. They're ideas before the plan is put in place, right? So that's why I always say the project comes before the plan. So when you're developing a game, you're making a song, you're doing a YouTube video, let's say you're doing like a video that requires a lot of editing. So as you're going through and you're editing all these pieces and you're putting it all together, let's say you're doing a video that's like a investigative video into Xbox, since we're talking about Halo. And you're using a bunch of different media pieces, and it's kind of like you want it to flow like a story from the beginning, middle, climax to the end, right? To the conclusion. In that process, it begins as a project. I have a video project, right? So it is essentially an idea that is yet to be executed. It then becomes a plan once you have everything structured and you have set in motion a way to make this project attainable. Like some way to I honestly think that's probably the best way to say it. I don't need to complicate it any further than that, really. Essentially, it's making something from what is essentially nothing. And I think that's a very important motivator for people. Once you start building a game and let's say you were doing Baldur's Gate 3, and your first level that you're building is on the ship, and your goal is to get your party and your team off the ship. There is a lot of, where do I put different lore books? Where do I put different loot, different mobs, different secret entry and exit points? kind of put them on rails and guide them towards a certain direction. Is this game where choices matter, or can they make any choice they want in this opening scenario, right? So there's a lot of complexity to that. But when you start putting the pieces together and you think, and you start looking at these individual tasks and you check off these individual tasks, normally that is when the project becomes the plan. The plan is to have this level, this specific level, with these specific characters, with this specific path, with these specific items to loot, with, so on, so forth, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that's important in any game because you've seen games where that is not the case. They do exist, unfortunately. One of them, if you want an example, is called Avowed. Historically, not great. And historically, not great because the plan sucked dick. It was not even, I wouldn't even have called it a plan. It was like a half-finished project. Like, half of it was planned, the other half was simply left to interpretation. What the fuck is that game? Right? And then there's games like Dragon Age Veilguard, Assassin's Creed Shadows, where they had plans, they stuck to those plans, but those plans were ultimately bad plans. And the games, although sold decent, but they didn't sell well. And they needed well because they spent a massive amount of money in order to set those projects into motion. So, due to that, you have to be very, very sure about your project and essentially I don't know where I was going with that. I've been running my brain for too long. So we're just going to move on. But yeah, that's the point. That's the point. Just execute the project properly and make it a solid plan and then stick to that plan and you'll probably be successful.
Live on an experience, and to me that's like a really exciting time in game development.
The ultimate love letter to the game that started it all. I would call upon our entire Halo community to welcome with open arms this next generation of players. I'm excited to just relive these experiences again for the first time.
True. Crazy. Halo is back. Crazy. It's good to see. It's good to see. But we are now on to the final leg of this video. Crank that up a little bit. We'll go like right there. Final part of the video. Ladies and gentlemen, it is snack review time. We have 2 snacks to review today. Fritos flavored twist queso. Yes. And a new one. As far as like new, as I just saw this today. It's the whole reason this video happened. The queso ones, I've been waiting. Right? The last queso ones I had were the spicy, was it spicy queso? I think it was spicy queso Funyuns, and those were terrible. So you guys never saw that video because that shit was awful. But Fritos has a new flavor. cheddar, buffalo. Two things I like in this world: buffalo sauce and cheese, baby. So we're gonna give them both a try here, and I'm gonna give you my rating. Starting with the queso. Oh, it smells like queso, dude. It smells good. Hold up. Let me grab a couple. One more. Boys, I think they might have cooked. I think they cooked with this one. This is pretty good. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. The flavor isn't as strong as I thought it would be, but it's nice. It's nice. It's not overpowering. It's not like overly subtle. Also, can we talk about this? Look at that. Look at how much they filled the bag. Doritos could never. And I love Doritos. But this is a 9 1/4 ounce bag. And it's basically full. For the same price as those dog shit Doritos. Didn't they up the seasoning on the Doritos because everybody kept complaining? Is that true? Let me know in chat. All right. Here's the new ones. $5.89 for these bad boys. Cheddar Buffalo. New flavor, Fritos. Again, they filled the bag to the fucking brim. Look at that. Look at how little space there is from the top of the bag to the first fucking chip. That's how far my finger goes in. And I'm already touching chip. Bro, if it was Doritos, it would be like down here. That's all you'd get. And that's how it is if you get their singles. If you don't believe me, go to like Subway or whatever. And when you get your sandwich and you get your chips, just feel how many of those chips are in the fucking bag. It's so sad. Here we go. Oh, shit. Yeah. Rating for the queso. I'm going to give them a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. I'm not going to say they're great or amazing because like 9 is amazing. 10 is incredible. 8 is great. I think 7 is good. Yeah. And then everything else doesn't matter because I probably won't post that one anyway because I'll fucking hate it. But then again, maybe I will because that'd make good content. Here we go. Cheddar Buffalo. Hold up. Let me get a couple more. Oh yeah. No, these are good. These are good. I think these are probably a solid 8, I think. Oh. I think they have the right amount of spice. I think they're just the right amount. Not too spicy at all. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. These are an 8. I think if the queso was a little bit stronger flavor-wise and just a tinge more spicy, just a tinge, because it's got a little bit of spice, not very much. I think you make them slightly spicier, more flavor. They did good here. If I wanted to nitpick, I could say I would like the cheese to come through a little bit more, but it's a very bold flavor and it's very good. Oh yeah. That's amazing. That's good. That's so good. W Fritos. Absolutely W Fritos. W Snackage review. This has been a 2-hour, 15-minute motherfucking video. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here, bro. I got shit to do. If I put up that I've gained weight, it's because I ate both of these bags. So just know that. And I'll still be skinnier than you watching this probably. I'll get the fuck out of here, dude. Y'all have a good night. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.